Stop making excuses. Weakness isn't just a flaw. It's a disease that spreads and destroys everything you want in life. You either crush it or it will crush you. Right now, decide, are you going to be a lion or prey? Weakness has no place in the life of a winner. Every excuse, every hesitation, every ounce of self-pity is poison. In this video, I'm going to rip the mask off weakness and show you how to reject it in every form, mentally, emotionally, physically, so you can dominate your goals, crush your fears, and take back your life. Call weakness what it is. Stop dressing it up in soft, comforting language that makes you feel better about failing to act. The moment you call laziness, rest, fear being cautious, or procrastination, waiting for the right time, you've already surrendered to it. Weakness survives because people refuse to face it head on. They hide it behind excuses, fake positivity, or fake humility. But here's the truth. If you can't name the enemy, you can't destroy it. And weakness is the deadliest enemy you will ever face because it doesn't attack in one big battle. It creeps in slowly. It whispers in your ear when no one else is around. It convinces you to hit snooze. It talks you into skipping the gym. It persuades you to stay quiet when you should speak up. And before you realize it, weakness has robbed you of opportunities, confidence, and time you can never get back. Winners are not people who never feel weak. They are people who see weakness for what it is and refuse to negotiate with it. They don't give it polite names. They don't soften the truth. They say, I'm being lazy right now, or I'm scared, and then they go to war against it. That honesty is the first step. You can't fight an enemy you pretend doesn't exist. The second you admit this is weakness, you strip it of its power to hide. Weakness thrives in the shadows, but when you drag it into the light, you can finally see it for what it is, a liar and a thief. The battle against weakness is daily. You can't kill it once and expect it to stay gone. It will try to return every single day, often in disguise. One day it might look like fatigue, another day it might sound like the voice of reason telling you to take it easy. But you have to train yourself to recognize it instantly, no matter how it dresses itself up. This is why discipline matters. Discipline sharpens your senses. Discipline makes you recognize the smell of weakness the moment it walks in the room. And here's the part most people don't want to hear. Weakness will always be a part of you. You will never completely get rid of it. That's not the goal. The goal is to dominate it, to make your strength louder, stronger, and more relentless than your weakness. The goal is to starve weakness of the attention, time, and energy it feeds on. That means you respond to it with immediate action. Feel tired? Get up. Feel scared? Take the first step anyway. Feel lazy? Move your body. Do not give weakness even 1 second to settle in, because the longer it stays, the harder it is to push out. Weakness isn't just something you reject. It's something you hunt down and destroy every time it shows up. Name it, expose it, attack it. That's how you win. Raise your standards, because the life you want will never come from the standards you currently tolerate. Weakness doesn't vanish because you hope for better days or pray that things will magically change. It dies when you take a flamethrower to mediocrity and burn it out of your life. Most people live with standards so low they trip over them every day. They accept being average, they settle for comfort, and they let their own potential rot because it's easier than demanding more. If that's you, then understand this: good enough is the enemy. Good enough is the coffin that buries your dreams alive. When you raise your standards, you send a signal to yourself and the world that you will no longer accept less than excellence. This doesn't mean perfection. It means commitment to your maximum capability every single day, even when you don't feel like it. It means you no longer wake up hoping to get through the day, but instead you attack it with the expectation that you will dominate it. You set goals that scare you, and you pursue them with a level of obsession that makes the weak uncomfortable. The truth is, most people keep their standards low because it lets them off the hook. If you expect little from yourself, you can't disappoint yourself. But that's coward thinking. That's weakness disguised as being realistic. You don't become strong, successful, or respected by being realistic. You get there by setting demands on yourself that force growth. If your goals don't make you sweat, if your standards don't push you into uncomfortable territory, they're not high enough. Raising your standards means raising the level of effort, discipline, and consistency you bring to the table. It's not about doing your best when you're motivated. It's about showing up and delivering your best when you're tired, stressed, and uninspired. That's where strength is forged. When you perform, not because you feel like it, but because you refuse to let yourself fall below the line you've drawn. Look at every area of your life, your body, your mind, your relationships, your business, your finances. Are you demanding more than you did last year? Or are you recycling the same comfortable routines, the same excuses, and the same low expectations? Weakness thrives in patterns like that. Strength thrives when you constantly level up, when you're chasing something just out of reach, when you're willing to be uncomfortable for as long as it takes to get what you want. Stop telling yourself that someday you'll raise your standards. Someday is now. Decide that you will never again tolerate half effort, half focus, or half results. Destroy the safety nets that keep you comfortable. Burn the bridges that let you retreat back to average. From this moment forward, make excellence your baseline, not your goal. Raise your standards so high that weakness suffocates and dies before it ever has a chance to take root in your life. Excuses are weakness's favorite disguise, and the dangerous thing is they sound reasonable in the moment. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I'm not ready yet. These aren't reasons. They're lies you tell yourself to justify staying exactly where you are. Weakness doesn't show up waving a flag and screaming, "I'm here to ruin your life." No, it whispers in your ear, making you believe you've got a valid reason to slow down, to take it easy, to wait for the perfect time. And here's the truth. The perfect time doesn't exist. If it's important, you make it happen. If you don't, you weren't serious in the first place. Every second you entertain an excuse, you're letting weakness plant its roots deeper into your mindset. The longer you allow it to grow, the harder it becomes to rip out. You've got to kill excuses before they even form, before the words leave your mouth, before your brain even finishes the thought. You have to develop a zero-tolerance policy for your own BS. When that little voice starts to say, "Maybe tomorrow," you shut it down immediately with, "No, right now." Excuses are seductive because they give you comfort. They make you feel safe from the challenge, safe from the fear of failure. But understand this, comfort is where dreams go to die. You will never achieve greatness while hiding behind a shield of perfectly crafted justifications. The world doesn't reward excuses. It rewards results. And nobody, I mean nobody, is going to remember why you didn't do something. They will only remember that you didn't do it. Think about it. Every successful person you admire had 100 reasons not to start. They were tired, they had families to feed, they lacked resources, they didn't have the connections. But instead of letting those facts become excuses, they turned them into fuel. They acted anyway. That's the difference between a winner and a loser. Winners act in spite of the obstacles. Losers let the obstacles write their story. When you train yourself to reject excuses instantly, you take back control of your life. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, and bad timing for your lack of action. You start living with accountability. And accountability is the enemy of weakness. Weakness thrives on shifting blame. But accountability forces you to look in the mirror and say, "It's on me. I either did it or I didn't." From now on, every time you feel an excuse rising in your mind, flip it into a question. How can I do this anyway? That's how killers operate. They don't ask whether it's possible. They ask how to make it happen. Kill excuses before they speak, and you'll kill weakness before it grows. Because in the end, life doesn't care about the story you tell yourself. It only cares whether you showed up, did the work, and earned the result. Everything else is noise. If you hang around sheep, you'll start grazing. You'll start thinking like them, moving like them, and living like them. Sheep don't chase goals. They wait to be led. They wait for someone to tell them what's possible. And if you spend enough time with them, you'll forget that you are meant to hunt, to conquer, to dominate. This is why the people you choose to surround yourself with will either pull you up to greatness or drag you down into mediocrity. You cannot expect to live like a lion when you're surrounded by animals who are terrified of the hunt. A lion doesn't ask for permission to eat. It takes what it wants. And if you want to live that way, you need to be around people who are hungry, driven, and unapologetically chasing their dreams. The truth is, most people don't want to see you rise. They might not say it out loud, but your ambition threatens their comfort. The moment you start leveling up, You expose their laziness, and they will try to pull you back to their level so they can feel better about staying there. That's why you have to cut them off. It's not personal. It's survival. You can't grow in soil that's full of weeds. You can't become unshakable if you keep letting weak voices whisper doubts into your ear. Every time you listen to them, you're planting seeds of hesitation in your mind. Eventually, those seeds will grow into fear, procrastination, and regret. When you surround yourself with lions, the game changes. Lions won't let you settle for half effort. They'll call you out when you're slacking. They'll push you past your limits because they understand that's where growth begins. They don't care about your excuses. They care about results. Being around strong people forces you to elevate your thinking, sharpen your discipline, and toughen your spirit. Their energy becomes your energy. You feed off their courage, their vision, and their hunger. You can't sit still in a room full of lions. You either move with them or you get left behind. But here's the catch. Finding lions isn't enough. You have to become one. You have to bring value to the table. Lions don't respect talkers, they respect doers. They don't care about your dreams if you're not willing to bleed for them. You want to earn a seat at the table? Show up with work ethic, grit, and an obsession with winning. Make it impossible for them to see you as anything but an equal. Weakness thrives in comfort. It loves the soft, safe circle of people who never challenge you. But comfort is a slow death. It convinces you that you're fine when you're not. It blinds you to your own potential. Destroy that comfort zone by stepping into rooms that scare you, by aligning with people who make you uncomfortable in the best way possible because they force you to grow. In the end, your environment will either make you or break you. Choose strength. Choose lions. Train beyond comfort, because comfort is the silent killer of potential. Every great achievement in human history was born out of resistance, struggle, and the willingness to step into the unknown when every instinct screamed to retreat. Your body and mind are not designed to grow in safety. They are forged in the fire of challenge. When you stay in your comfort zone, you are essentially living in a padded cell. Safe, yes, but trapped. The human spirit thrives on friction, on tests, on pushing against the limits until those limits break. Every time you avoid difficulty, you are telling your body and mind to weaken. You are training yourself to be soft. Push harder than you think you can, because that's where the transformation hides. When your muscles burn, when your brain says, I'm done, and your willpower whispers, just one more step, that's the moment you rewire who you are. Growth doesn't care about how you feel. It cares about what you're willing to endure. Mentally, it's about tackling problems you don't yet know how to solve and refusing to walk away until you do. Physically, it's about pushing your body to perform when it's screaming for rest. Financially, it's about risking more than feels comfortable because you know the safe path keeps you broke and invisible. You will never know your true capacity until you demand more from yourself than is reasonable. That's the secret the comfortable never learn. Your potential isn't hiding in what you can already do. It's buried in the things you think you can't. The first time you push past exhaustion and keep going, you'll feel something shift inside you. That's the birth of grit. The moment you stare down fear and act anyway, that's the death of weakness. Growth starts the moment comfort ends. Comfort feels good, but it's a trap disguised as safety. It convinces you that you're fine where you are, and before you know it, years pass without progress. Comfort will give you temporary peace, but permanent regret. Resistance will give you temporary pain, but permanent strength. If you truly want to evolve, you have to go looking for resistance. You have to chase the moments that make you sweat, shake, and doubt yourself. Because in those moments, you are building a version of you that the comfortable will never meet. This is why champions train when no one's watching. This is why leaders take on problems bigger than themselves. They understand that comfort is for the masses, and the masses are average. If you want to live an average life, stay comfortable. If you want to dominate in your field, in your body, in your mind, you must embrace the discomfort as a sign that you're exactly where you need to be. The pain will fade, the doubt will fade, the fatigue will fade. But the strength you earn from training beyond comfort will carry you for a lifetime. Make rejection of weakness a daily ritual. Every single morning when you wake up, before the world has a chance to influence your thoughts, you decide who you're going to be. Victim or victor. There's no middle ground. You either own the day or the day owns you. Weakness is sneaky. It creeps in through laziness, procrastination, self-doubt, and fear. If you don't train yourself to detect it, it will become part of you before you even realize it. That's why you can't leave it to chance. You have to program your mind every day deliberately to despise weakness in all its forms. Write down exactly who you want to be and what you will no longer tolerate from yourself. Words on paper are a commitment. They're a line in the sand. And when you write them, you're making a declaration that you are not for sale to comfort, excuses, or fear. After you write it, say it out loud. Not in a whisper, not in a hopeful tone. Say it with the conviction of someone who's burned the Bix and refuses to retreat. Words have power. The way you speak to yourself determines the way you act. If you tell yourself you're strong, capable, and relentless every day, you build a mental armor that weakness can't penetrate. It's the same way warriors prepare for battle. They rehearse victory in their minds before they step onto the field. And yes, you need to train your mind to hate weakness. Not dislike it, not avoid it, hate it. Hate it the way a warrior hates defeat, the way a lion hates a cage. Because weakness wants to rob you. It wants to strip you of your potential, your pride, and your future. It will whisper to you that you've done enough for the day, that you can take it easy, that you can start tomorrow. You need to recognize that voice instantly and shut it down with the intensity of a predator protecting its kill. This isn't about being angry for no reason. It's about channeling your energy into something that builds you, not breaks you. Every day you reject weakness, you stack another brick in the foundation of your strength. Over time, you'll notice that things that once broke you now barely move the needle. Situations that used to scare you become challenges you look forward to. That's not an accident. That's the result of daily training, daily rejection of the easy path, daily commitment to the harder, better way. The truth is, weakness never completely disappears. It's always looking for a way back in. That's why the ritual never ends. Day after day, you must recommit. Decide again, speak again, push again. The battle is never over, but neither is your strength. And every time you choose to be the victor instead of the victim, you prove to yourself and the world that you are unstoppable. Weakness is a choice, and so is strength. Every time you give in, you're voting for the life you don't want. Every time you reject it, you get one step closer to the life you dream about. Stop negotiating with weakness. Burn the bridge. The only way forward is through strength, discipline, and relentless action.